Hey everybody, this is John for MTG Nexus doing some Boros Burn here in Mark with a quick deck tech. So, truly noted, this is not an optimum list. This is simply a starting point to see how the format has kind of shaped up with the emergence of Mono Red Prowess and Amulet as kind of the top tier decks, as well as the rebirth of the Urza archetypes, etc. So, this is kind of an amalgamation of a couple of different lists and some stuff that I want to try out. Nothing too major in the main deck other than we are on 20 lands, which means 2 copies of Fiery Islet, 4 copies of Sunbay Canyon, so our mana base will be a little bit painful, hence why I really wanted to make sure to get extra copies of Lightning Helix in the deck here. Beyond that, there's another cut I had to make because of that as well. The Searing Blaze was just a copy of Skullcrack. So, yeah, 2 Skullcracks in the main, 2 Skullcracks on the board. So, I want to make sure I had 3 copies of Lightning Helix. The original list this was based off of only had 2. With this much damage from our mana base, I wanted to make sure that we were able to recoup some life loss and some matchups. Beyond that, not too anything major scary here. Only 2 Skullcracks in the main, 3 copies of Searing Blaze. Blaze has not felt to be in the greatest of positions in a lot of matchups, so 3 copies, very powerful card, but sometimes it's a 10, sometimes it's a 2. And then beyond that, you know, just your usual package of Goblin Guide, Swift Spear, Eidolon, no Grimlov shenanigans or anything going on. Sideboard, the one mainstay here that's interesting is 4 copies of Leyline in the Void as opposed to Rest in Peace or Tormod's Crypt. I really want my Graveyard Hate to come down on turn 0, specifically against Dredge, which last couple times out I've used Burn. I've run into Dredge a couple times. Smash to Smithereens and Wear Tear here are kind of a split because of the Urza decks, as well as people bring in Leylines and such. 2 copies of Path to Exile. Don't like to overload on these effects unless we're in a meta where humans and such is a big thing, or Death Shadow. 2 copies of Core Firewalker because there are plenty of red decks running around, and 1 copy of Deflecting Palm because this card has been reasonable in a lot of situations, like against Through the Breach, Emrakul, and such decks that are popping her up. Then 2 copies of Skullcrack because you need some additional anti-life gain measures. So that's it. Let's hop into a league and see how it does. Back for match number 1. We are on the play. 4 lands. Can't really realistically keep his hand, so mulligan. Hand's a little bit risky. 1 lander, but I think we keep. Put back Lava Spike, I guess. Hope our Parade of 1 drops is good enough. Through the Breach, huh? Trigger. Alright. So they are drawing Snapcaster Mage. Okay. Rather fast concession, but I'm not going to complain. Deflecting Palm and Skullcracks can come in. A lot of these lists have been running Dragon's Claw, so I'm going to be a bit of a coward and bring in the smashes. Obviously, we bore down the Searing Blazes, and then I need to make 2 other cuts. Definitely don't want to cut any of the 1 drops. Don't want to cut any of the lands. So Golden Skewer. This hand is really awkward. Do I keep this hand for 10? Don't think so. This hand's much better. Putting back 1, 1, 2, 2. I'm gonna put back Skullcrack for now. Might be incorrect because they could have obviously some form of life gain. Kind of awkward playing in what likely is a face-up bolt, but let's lead on Swift Spear here. Yep. Like I said, kind of awkward playing into a face-up bolt, but it's drawing Archmage's Charm, which they can't cast this turn, importantly. Deflecting Palm's a pretty good one. Is it really bad that I actually actively want them to find the combo now? Now, we know they have Archmage's Charm, so I'm not really in a hurry to fire that off, per se. Actually, they've already burned Archmage's Charm, huh? Sure. Burn all your force negations, friend. And our opponent's drawing a braid, which kind of whatever. Yep. Not even worth playing Swiftbeer out right now. Alright, got too cute. Got punished this game. We didn't see through the breach through them, so it doesn't necessarily mean it's not in their deck, but seeing us deflecting palm all day could be rather annoying. Bringing those in against them could be very entertaining. What other cards will we cut from them, though? Skullcrack isn't particularly good against specifically Dragon's Claw anyway. The nature of it, so I think this hand's keepable, but once again, a little bit awkward with a one-lander. Trigger. Do you have a bolt? You do. Alright. Mm-hmm. Hmm. Don't think we're winning this game, but entertaining nonetheless. Good old Dragon's Claw. Hey, we're back for round number 2. We're on the draw, unfortunately. Hand's pretty good, pretty close to the burn ideal. 1 drop into 2 drop spells. So, especially against Green Tron. but will in fact have Tron on 3. Just curious what our opponent can get with it. Okay. Put them to 6, hope to rip a land, I guess. Gladly exile this Searing Blaze. Curious what you get. Spell Cascade would be annoying. Fortunately, we have the bolt for the upkeep liquid metal coating, so. Main deck Relic, huh? Alright, so mono green Tron. Smash to Smithereens sounds fantastic. Skull Crack sounds fantastic. Path to Exile sounds reasonable. Searing Blazes are garbage. Eidolon the Great Rebel on the draw is a bit of a liability. And cut a Skewer the Critics here. Could bring in Wear Tear as additional hedges, but they don't have the Mycosynth the last lockout kill anymore. This hand is interesting. On the draw, I'm much more inclined to keep a one-lander. It does have a lot of the tools that I want to beat Tron, other than over, obviously, double Eidolon. And the fact that our opponent's mulliganing kind of also incentivized me to keep. Although they could easily still have Tron on 3 here. Alright, we draw land because we're a professional. Unless their opponent has a lot of cantripping stars and stuff, these Eidolons are kind of garbage. Like, literally, they're the only 2 Eidolons in our deck right now. Okay. Sure. Game is dicey. Yep. Probably the smart one to exile. Hope we draw a white source to punish. Looks like they're just going to do it immediately. Alright, So still not a huge fan of Eidolon on the sand the mulligan, not enough early pressure. This hand's pretty reasonable. Probably put back the Boros charm. Hope we draw lands. Okay. On deck land. Yeah. Suppose if I'm going to not draw land, that's probably the best draw on our deck. Alright, here's hoping they don't have Tron next turn. Their power plant's kind of whatever. Blast Zone, sure. Go 3. As soon as they go to crack this map, they're dead. Alright, got there against Tron. On to the next match. Back here for the third match in this league. On the draw, which is unfortunate. This hand is perfectly serviceable. 1-drops are a little less effective on the draw anyway. Okay, I have no idea what's going on here. Covered swamp. So, Blood Moon Jund? And yeah, that's really a thing. Looks like it's Blood Moon Jund. Alright. Maximizing damage here, because there's no guarantee that our creatures get through after this. Yep. Pass the turn, no attacks. Pass turn. Alright, Blood Moon Jund. And so, collective brutality is in force in this one. People are definitely gunning for burn. Definitely want the skull cracks. I don't think I want wear tear here. Cut the helixes in one Boros Burn, I guess. Hand's decent. A little bit awkward, especially on the draw, but decent. No discard spell, huh? I feel like this... Oh, okay, they just auto-pass. That's nice. Or not. Looked like they had auto-passed for a minute there. It's unfortunate. Kraxa. Collective brutality is going to be a little rough here, and that's exactly what this is, isn't it? Wow. Mm-hmm. Just not beating a 6/6 that hits us for 3 every turn. Or 6/6 that hits us for 3 additional every turn. Not beating that. Could bring in Deflecting Palm. I really don't like being vulnerable to Blood Moon. I really don't. Guess we keep this hand once again. So 1, 2, 3. Alright, let's try this. Goblin Guide. Lightning Bolt. Awkward. Pass turn here, no reason to do anything right now. It's really awkward to path that Tarmogoyf, and they knew that. Play out Eidolon, hope we rip path somehow. Alright, unfortunate loss. Definitely could argue that I should have mulligan there in that last hand with a one-lander. But as you're seeing, the meta is quite hostile to Burn and Mono Red Prowess right now. So, anyways, that'll be it for these matches. I'll be back later with the other two matches in the league and the wrap-up, because I have to get ready for work this morning. So, hope everybody has a great day, and I hope everybody is learning a little bit from these videos of how much hate there is for Burn in the format, in addition to one-laners don't always pay off even when you up your land count. So, this has been John for MTG Nexus. And we're back for match number 4 in this league against Teabag Tom. Enough said. Been a weird league so far. Yeah, just been a weird league. Lost to Blue-Red through the breach. Played a weird game too. Lost to Atraxa, Blood Moon, Jund. And then beat Mono Green Tron so far. So, be interesting to see what our opponent plays. Or if they're just going to time up. I'll be back if and when this match starts. Hey, your opponent decided to grace themselves with their presence. This hand's a lot awkward. No plays until turn 2. This hand could very easily be a mulligan. Like, what are the merits of keeping this hand? Like, literally have nothing to play on 1. On 2, our best play is either Boros Charm or Eidolon. This hand might be a mulligan. Yeah, I think we're going to mulligan this hand on the draw. This hand's a little bit more respectable. Get rid of Boros Charm here. Island into Argrim's Astrolabe. Shocker. Like, for someone playing a snow control deck or an Oko deck, they are moving really slow. Yep, I got to land off of it, which is unfortunate. So what is the best sequencing next turn, barring we don't draw anything relevant? Trigger me this, Batman. Teamer Snow. It's possible that wasn't the correct use of my resources there, but Teamer or 4-color snow pile. Really? I'm really that desperate to... Alright, 4-color snowflake. Okay, sure. Another Coatl. Threat of Winter, kind of a dead card now. We're going to Boros charm you. Do you have a lovely Force of Negation? Pass to you. That one's annoying. Alright, fetch lane is now dead. Oh, it's Fabled Passage. Delightful. 'Cause why? Alright. Pretty sure we're dead here. Alright, so we can't beat the stuff people do in this format. Alright, Deflecting Palm seems interesting in the face of that card. Skull Crack could be interesting. Searing Blaze is fine in the face of all their random stuff. Looks like this might be a Helix out matchup. And just go like that. The weird stuff going on in this format is just kind of absurd at this point. Like, this is far from the optimum build of Burn. The Burn shouldn't be losing that badly to 4-color piles of junk that didn't even have a I guess. So I'm sitting here berating what my opponent's playing, but that bolt that we pointed at the Coatl instead of the Goblin Guide, so I turned around and promptly killed anyway the next turn with another one. Mulligan, no landers. Not the best of hands, but I think we keep it. We'll get rid of this deflecting palm. Oh. I have to click on deflecting palm, and I spaced and clicked on Sacred Foundry. Seems good. Yep, I definitely deserve that. Should currently have an Eidolon in play. Sure. Might enable Goblin Guide to get through next turn. Keeping in mind this deflecting palm shouldn't even be in our hand. Okay. What kind of pile were they playing over there? Yeah, enough of this nonsense. Alright, one more match. Hopefully I won't click on the wrong thing. We are back for the 5th and final match with Boros Burn in this league. Hopefully without misclicks. Misclicks not included. But, as I was saying before, the bolt that I used on that Coatl may have been the difference between winning and losing the game by 1 there against Kraxa, or not Kraxa, Uro. Pawn's only getting to 5. Okay, we have 4 Leonons on our sideboard, just making sure. The draw this game is going to hurt us a lot. Escape shift of some type. Hopefully you don't have the bolt to boot. Do you have the bolt? Nope. Alright, so theoretically, do the Dread. Okay. As long as you don't scape shift us next turn, I think we're good here. Or tighten us. Okay. Sure. Okay. And Exaxes. Those are enchantments, which are interesting. Alright. Dryad of the Elysian Grove. Titan Field, Titan Shift. Alright. So, definitely want these. Possibly want Deflecting Palm. And cut the Searing Blazes. Beyond that, could bring Wear Tear. As a hedge, that's not a terrible idea. Move down a Helix and an Eidolon. Bring in Wear Tear in case they have access to things and stuff for 100. In case they have access to there'd be no 7 cards this time, so we're dead. In case they have access to Leyline of Sanctity and or well, I mean, nope. Alright. Do Lava Spike. Lava Spike, Lava Spike, ooh, Lava Spike, Lava Spike. Boom, 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 boom. Okay. You seek very far. Okay. So there could be a Baloth in our future, but bluffing Skullcrack gonna get us nowhere, so deal with the hand word out. Sure. Oh, that also allows them to play extra lands. Cool. Yep. Yeah, that's turn 4 win. Seems good. We leave it as is. One last game to decide it all. Hand's not good enough. Doesn't have a 1-drop creature. Has a 1-drop creature. A little bit risky. I think we sneak it. Question is, what do we pitch? I guess one of the copies of Skullcrack. Understanding that this game is a race means you have to prioritize different hands. Goblin Guide is one of the cards and hands that you prioritize. And what land do we hand them? Wooded Hotels. Okay. Feels like a suspended. Wow. Okay. Flame Slash. Bolt. Okay. Guess they feel they were going to have to discard either way, so. The problem we have is we don't have a second land, so it may not matter. Okay. Yep. Right, one's gonna have free reign to do whatever they want, pretty much. Alright. Bailiff? Yep. Sure. Dumb part is they can cast Prime Time off of 5 lands. Sure, why not? That was a very frustrating end of that league. Be back in 1 minute with a wrap-up. Hey, we're back for the wrap-up for our Boros Burn League. So one thing I noted as I was doing some post-cleanup here was 14 cards in the sideboard. 15th card could certainly have helped. As far as the league itself, I think a couple takeaways are, one, Burn has a lot of anti-burn cards out there right now. We lost to Uro of all things. Got Collective Brutality in that league. And then the recurring problem of the 1 lands. We're up to a 20th land. Not really a whole lot more you can do in terms of land count. You need to be a little bit more aggressive with mulliganing 1-landers, even on 6. The problem with mulliganing 1-landers on 6 is if you go to 5, generally Burn doesn't have enough resources to close out the game, so that's why I'm inclined to keep kind of a borderline 6 with, you know, a 1-drop and a couple other 1-drop spells. Pretty reasonable most of the time. It hasn't been paying off lately, so even the next couple times I'll consciously try to mulligan to 5, see if we can get a better hand. Beyond that, small decisions matter. Bolting the Icewing Coatl so our Goblin Guy could get through. Dealt them 2 damage. They ended up at 1. Not knowing that they had a Fable Passage in play rather than a normal fetch land, which would have dealt them damage in match number 4. Sideboard's just, it was just kind of thrown together, hoping and praying and wishing. 4-lane Land in the Void might be too much right now. Maybe it's supposed to be 3. Maybe it's supposed to be 2 Rest in Peace, 2 Tormod's Crypt. Didn't run into Dredge or anything in this league. I did run into Dredge in another league that I've played since then with a different deck. But so I do have a healthy respect for Dredge, especially with the Ox. I feel that that's kind of helped out that archetype, even if losing Faithless Looting a while ago did power it down for a little while. Not a lot of people are hard targeting Dredge, so I think it's a deck that can pop up here and there. So maybe I'm going a little bit too hard on my respect for that archetype. The 15th card in our sideboard could easily have been another Deflecting Palm. We could get Exquisite Firecrest back in this, which would help out against these Blue-Red Breach decks that are popping up, as well as Blue-Eye Control and Death Shadow, which are both running around. Maybe more anti-life gain measures. It's really kind of hard to say. This doesn't feel like there's enough sideboard slots right now to fight all the angles the Burn's getting hit from with Amulet Titan and Dredge and life gain stuff. So I think it definitely requires some more gameplay with Burn. The problem is I don't think Mono Red, with Mono Red Prowess being a deck that people are respecting right now, Burn's taking some backlash from that as well. Iron's in a weird place right now. I'm not sure that I particularly like where it's at from a Burn player's perspective, but it's an interesting place. But this is kind of the time that, you know, it pays off to tighten your play, be more cognizant of your mulligans, be more cognizant of your, you know, 13, 14, 15 sideboard slots without being too obsessive about it. And just get some reps in. This is a time where the format's a little bit unsettled still. It looks like Wurza's making a bit of a return. Amulet Titan's kind of like the de facto deck, #1 deck. Mono Red Prowess is up there, but taking a lot of splash hate right now with Burn. Meta's in a weird place. Definitely need to do some work in the meta, see what's actually going on, but small sample size we've had so far are not very promising for Burn at the moment. But once again, that's the online meta, that's not necessarily your local meta, so do keep that in mind whenever I'm talking in general. I'm talking the overall meta and not necessarily your local little slice of heaven. So, anyways, this has been John for MTG Nexus. Everybody has a great day.